What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a little bit of a look at what is now apparently confirmed. I'm seeing a lot of posts on my timeline this morning. I'm seeing a lot of corroborating information, so I'm going to say it. You know those Golden God packs full of all the manga rares that I told you we didn't have any proof were real? Oh, we got proof now, ladies and gentlemen. We have proof. Lee's OPCG over on Twitter has been watching openings online, has been sharing information about them, and it seems to now be confirmed. I'm seeing this actually provable from streams. I am seeing it corroborated by a bunch of people. This looks absolutely legit. Once again, it is not 100% confirmed until we see like 50 of them all coming around and all of that. But like I told you the other day, the idea of this Golden God pack, as people were phrasing it, with all the manga rares, I had seen no proof of this. I'd seen no reason to believe this was real. And it was a nice idea. We did not have the information ready to talk about that. I acknowledged it as a rumor in a video a day or two ago, and then I just said, let's leave it for now. We don't have enough information. Well, now we do. And I also, this totally vindicates me. Maybe let's go back to the beginning and talk about this properly. So a couple of days ago, an image was being shared around, seemingly from very reliable sources. And I don't just post random rumors on here without making that super clear. And it was of a showcase that was being shared at what seemed to be official One Piece events that had all the alternate arts from Premium Booster 01, bearing in mind the set wasn't out. I mean, it's still not out. No, it is Friday in Japan now. Okay, it is now technically out probably, or out in like an hour by the time you watch this. But the point is, getting hold of all of these alternate arts was basically impossible, so it wasn't like somebody had just taken all the manga and put them at the top there, as you can see on the screen, because they also would have had to somehow fake all the other cards. So this seemed absolutely 100% legit, because the only way to really fake this would be to fake all of the cards and the display and then put the manga up them, which makes no sense. So this seemed legit, and this seemed to tell us that all the mangas from Shanks and OP01 through to Chopper and EB01, i.e. everything up to EB01, not including OP07 and OP08, were being reprinted in Premium Booster 01. We had images being shared, for instance, of this Ace, where you can clearly see a new version of the manga rare. There is a stamp. Also, I lazily referred to this as a PRB01 stamp in a previous video. I think it's actually just like the One Piece TCG logo. I was actually referring to it as a stamp from Premium Booster 01. I never actually meant it as a stamp of Premium Booster 01, but I can see how that was very confusing, and I apologize. I should have been clearer in my wording in previous videos. So we had this display, which seemed absolutely legit. We had these two versions of the manga rares, which seemed absolutely legit, and then people started opening cases of Premium Booster 01. And people were hitting manga and Nami left, right, and center. I am hearing extremely rough estimates of about one Nami every 2.5 cases. Seems to be shading a little bit to the under, 2.3 I've heard bandied around. The reality is we haven't actually opened enough cases to really get a proper good number here, but about 1 per 2.5 cases seems about right. Again, that is very, very, very rough. But the thing is, we were seeing manga Nami pulled left, right, and center, and nobody at all was pulling any other manga. We kept seeing Nami being pulled, and no other manga being pulled. And this was what has been driving me crazy the last couple of days. I take my job very seriously here, sharing the news with you guys. I shared this news about manga rares being reprinted because I had done my research, I had done my checking, and everything about it seemed legit. It seemed like, and I do not cover this stuff unless it seems legit. So I absolutely believed it, and it seemed completely on the level. And then people started opening cases and not pulling the other manga rares. And it was infuriating because it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And we had this rumour of this golden god pack, the best god pack ever. But I'd seen no proof of this, it just seemed like a fun rumour. So I mentioned it briefly but never gave it much credence. And then somebody went and pulled one on a live stream. And now this just seems like legit. Again, I suppose it could be an elaborate hoax, but I really don't think it is. Lee OPCG seems like a pretty reliable person. Andy Collects has been sharing this, and they have proven in the past to be a pretty reliable person. So, yeah. Now, Lee has suggested that 1,000 cases have been opened, and this is the first one we've seen. I can't prove those numbers. I don't know if anyone can prove those numbers. So again, massive pinch of salt. But it seems like they are real, and they're about the rarest pack available. Of course, we know that in our sets, we get treasure rares. We got treasure rare Nami in OP06, and we got treasure rare Law in OP07. Japan doesn't get treasure rares. What Japan have actually had instead is god packs featuring all of the alternate art leaders. That's what they've essentially been having instead of treasure rares. I'm going to let you decide which you'd rather have in the set. But that's kind of awesome, honestly. I love the idea of a god pack where you get all of the alternate arts. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And now apparently there's a god pack with mangas. Now, remember, generally speaking, packs are smaller in Japan, but they're upping them to 10 cards per pack with Premium Booster 01, so that's why we see all the mangas. Now, when we say all the mangas, that's not actually true. I'm hearing it's not Nami. So the mangas you get are Shanks from OP01, Ace from OP02, Soja King from OP03, Sabo from OP04, Law from OP05, Kid from OP05, Luffy from OP05, Zoro from OP06, and Chopper from EB01. I am hearing that they are the mangas you get. You do not get Nami. The 10th card in the pack is apparently one of the alternate art dons you get in every pack. But can you imagine opening this? Opening one pack and almost completing your collection of manga rares. Yes, you'll still need the Boa Hancock in the rally, but come on. That is a lot of manga rares in one pack. Okay, so what does that do to the existing manga rares? Because the original rumour, now the one thing we have disproved, and there's been enough openings that I think we can say this is definitely not true now, we're not getting one manga rare per case. It's not happening. Now, we are getting one gold don per case. That is legit. That is absolutely on the level. But we're not getting one manga per case. It seems to be, and again, things could change, but we've seen a lot now, and it seems to be that essentially Nami is coming out somewhere in the region, very roughly of 1 per 2.5 cases, and the other Don are only coming out in this God pack where you get all 9 in one go. And the pull rate, as you would imagine, is hilariously low. So what does this do to the price of the original manga? Now we know if we look at something like Ace, we've got both the star, which you'll know was added to later Don, but the first few Don didn't have it, and you've got the stamp, which was not on later Don, so it's not exactly the same. You will be able to tell the Don apart that came around in these God packs from the Don that were pulled from the original packs first time round. There are differences, and the first print Don is going to be important. People are going to want the first print, not the reprint, if they're serious collectors. It really depends on the pull rates of this God pack. If it's like 1 per 1,000 cases, that gives each of these Don in like 1 per 100 cases, and there's still going to be a bunch of them out there. It'll still affect the price, but not too much. If the God pack is in fact much less rare and it ends up being 1 in 10 cases and the sample we've had so far is just unrepresentative, not saying that's the case, just a thought experiment for a second, then it actually comes down to about 1 per case, at which point the price gets affected a lot more. But from everything I'm seeing, the pull rates really are very low on these. These God packs are coming out, like it took days of people opening cases for 1 to surface. So it does look like they are ridiculously rare, and they are differentiated from the original. So I do think it's fair to presume they're not going to have a gigantic impact. Yes, I'm sure they'll have some impact. Not what I said. But I don't think they're going to have a huge impact. The manga rares should still retain quite a bit of value, and I expect the first print to still be the most sought after. The final question, of course, comes in with, well, are we getting these in English? Don't know. No idea. And just to be clear, no one has any idea. Nah, that's a lie. People at Bandai know, but Bandai never make announcements about God Packs. We see God Packs in Pokemon, and they never make any announcements either. These things aren't generally officially acknowledged. So we have to wait until it comes out in English and gets opened. Remember, God Packs of leaders are a thing in Japan and they're not over here. Pokemon God Packs are a thing in Japan, but they're not really a thing over here. So just because they exist in Japan does not mean they exist over here. Now that does raise another interesting question of, would they just put the mangas in our set normally, not as part of a God Pack? And that is possible. If you want an example, I can't give you a perfect example here. But for instance, Pokemon did a thing a little while ago where in one of their special sets, they had a special kind of God Pack that would give you 9 Pokemon cards that made a picture. And the only way to get these 9 cards was as part of a God Pack. And then when it came out in English, the 9 cards were just put in normally, like you would expect. And it was a lot less fun. So that was a thing in Japan. They could copy that here, whereby in Japan they're only available as a God Pack, but we get them normally in packs. They've done it in Pokemon. For now, I've told you what I can, I've speculated on what I can, but it does seem like these God Packs are real, and oh my word, is this exciting. But I've told you what I can, so now it's over to you guys. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.